Hello and welcome to a class training video on the basic controls of the printout templates. Just bear in mind, if you can't see it, you might need a bump up in your permissions or need to be a class admin. To get to that, we go to the tools in the bottom left here by left clicking, and we left click on the printout templates. You likely won't have as many at your center by default, but the workflow we suggest is you actually copy just one of the ones that say default like that. For example, for the thing you want to edit, like if you want to change how client information is printing, you'd pick the client printout default. Or if you want to change how the service information is printing, like maybe you want to add or remove fields. Fields you could add, for example, are your custom fields to the printout, which is possible. So what you do to start with is you would tick this box on the left-hand side of the sort of template you want to work with. And rather than going with new, we do want to copy it. This will save us some time. So once we've copied that, hopefully you won't have as many as we do here. So you'll be able to make sense of things real quick. But you'll notice that the ones you have edited will come up with this blue hyperlink or blue text, which you can just left click and you can rename it. So let's say for this service printout, it's the client advice notes printout. That's what we'll call it. And we will leave it as active, maybe write something descriptive here. And default means that when you actually go to print the the printout template, when you have the service, in this case open, for example, it'll be the first one from the list. So it'll be the first template that loads over the default, which may not be what you're after, so just leave that unticked. You do want it active maybe at a later stage when it's actually ready to use. So let's untick that and save and close. Now this is just some advice, but once we have that client advice notes printout, let's pretend we've worked on it for a number of hours, and before the sort of next big session of work occurs, it may be a good idea to actually further copy that template and just sort of so basically it'll append or suffix the name of this with copy on the end. So there should be a copy of client advice notes, which is up here. And what we can do, it prefixes it. What we can do is just write backup, for example. And that way, and of course leave it inactive. And you can say, oh, I backed this up, at this date, at this time. And you can just save and close that. So that way you're not going to lose your work if something goes wrong as you begin editing it, sorry. But that's sort of the general sort of workflow you want to go with. And do note you can filter at the top here, for example, for just the default ones, and by name if you want a more succinct view of the printout templates. But now that we've figured out how to copy them, we are now ready to actually have a look at the DevExpress editor.